My name is Matt Cousin, and I'm also a member of Socialist Alternative.
Go ahead.
I'm very excited that the idea of the Green New Deal is gaining traction, especially because it's in part due to the great work of so many young people who are out here tonight. It's a welcome step forward that the city is considering this resolution. So it's time to think about what the latest science is saying and what it will take to achieve these goals. The United Nations report of last year stated very clearly that we need unprecedented economic change in the next 12, now 11 years in order to avoid economic catastrophe and climate catastrophe. Does this plan represent unprecedented economic change? Unfortunately, it probably does not. Let's look at the public transit section, for example. Every paragraph gives numbers for the potential fuel money saved, but no figures for the actual environmental effects. It's disappointing that the city isn't ready to think bigger than 50% electric buses by 2035, which is 16 years away, more than 11. There's no way around it. This is not a question of how much money we can save by going green, because we will need to invest more in public infrastructure. The metro system here is already unreliable. The buses don't run frequently enough to make it possible to rely on it on a day-to-day basis, and the buses don't go late enough. Even without electric buses, right now, by increasing the amount of service in public transportation, we could get a great deal of vehicles off the road, reducing emissions. So what would unprecedented economic change look like? It would involve heavily taxing the rich to fund these investments in public services. It would involve taking companies like MG&E into public ownership and democratizing them, having them be run by the workers in the community which they serve. The reality is, when governments try to solve problems by being amenable to big business, it doesn't work out, and everyday working people get the short end of the stick, and we get pushed out of the discussion. Like some of the people earlier spoke on, we need to address who is affected the most by climate change and who is the cause of it. It was already mentioned that many indigenous communities in the global south are going to be already being the first ones to be affected negatively by the consequences of climate change. But even in our own country, the people affected most are going to be working class people like myself, but also disproportionately communities of color who are more likely to live in areas with unsafe drinking water and unclean air. These people aren't the ones that are responsible. The big corporations, the rich are. Just 100 companies produce 71% of global emissions. And we need to go up against the rich and powerful and their interests if we want to really win a Green New Deal. Thank you.
Thank you.